Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking tretinoin in winter. Yeah, winter can be really harsh and dry on the skin, and tretinoin can be really harsh and dry on the skin. It's like that perfect storm of those two things coming together that can make using tretinoin in winter a real struggle. That's what today's video is about. I want to share with you some strategies and some tips and some ways of thinking about your skin that are going to make using tretinoin in winter a lot easier. And I want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Dermatica. They're an online dermatology service that make getting tretinoin a lot easier. As you know, tretinoin is a prescription grade ingredient here in the United States, which means you need access to a doctor or a dermatologist, which definitely can be a barrier for a lot of us, right? We don't have the time, maybe we don't have access to insurance or the funds for that type of visit. So Dermatica makes things really easy. You get your own dermatology provider who helps to shape and guide your journey with tretinoin. My prescription is tretinoin 0.05% along with 8% of azelaic acid. I love the compound formula because it makes, achieving those well-aging goals with tretinoin and my goals with keeping my skin clear from congestion and clogged pores with azelaic acid. It makes it so simple and easy. I just get one bottle and I have everything I need in one little pump. The dermatology provider also helps to guide that journey with maybe increasing your strength with tretinoin and is always available for any questions or concerns that you might have. So I absolutely love this service. I do have a discount code for you. If you use Kelly D to sign up to try out Dermatica, you're going to get your first month for $4.99 and your second month is going to be 10% off. All right, let's jump into the video. If you're so ready to learn how to use tretinoin in the winter with ease, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So my first tip is to switch your cleanser strategy. Cleansing seems like a really boring kind of foundational part of skincare that we don't want to put a lot of energy on. I feel you on that, but it is really important to understand that cleansing is one of those activities that we do every single day to our skin that can actually be quite drying and harsh, especially when we're talking about cleansing in the winter time. Not only are the temperatures cold and harsh outside, which is going to affect our skin, but because we're turning the heating on inside, that dries out our environment. And sometimes even the most gentle pH balanced cleansers can still take away a lot of essential moisture from our skin. So if you're feeling any type of tightness or dryness or like that stripped feeling after washing your face, it's time to definitely switch over that cleansing strategy. So first up, consider removing a cleansing product from your morning time routine. This isn't going to work for everybody, but I always suggest that you experiment with it because it can actually be incredibly helpful, especially if you're struggling with that feeling of dehydration and dryness on your skin. So just use water in the morning, but still be mindful about how you're cleansing. Don't just like slap water on your face and then go. Really make sure that you're rinsing really well, working your fingers to break down those like layers of leftover skincare from the night before. Try this one out, and if you do feel like you're not getting quite a good enough clean, consider adding in a washcloth, just water and a washcloth that you just gently, use against your skin. Don't scrub or press really hard. You may also consider adding in a micellar water. These use gentler surfactants than your traditional gel and foaming cleansers to help break through any excessive oil or skincare layers to give you a really nice fresh clean in the morning without using those harsh surfactant ingredients. Now, if your skin is still feeling really dry and tight, it might be time to switch out that cleansing product that you're using, especially if it produces a lot of foam and a lot of bubbles, or if it's gel based. Those generally tend to be a little bit more drying on the skin. So if you're feeling those symptoms, consider switching over to a more moisturizing type of a cleanser. These are cleansers that are designed definitely to effectively cleanse your skin, break through oil and dirt, maybe even some light layers of makeup and sunscreen to give you an effective clean, but to actually infuse your skin with some gentle moisture as well, so that when you wash everything off, you are left with that feeling of like, my skin feels balanced, and then you can go on with the rest of your routine without starting at a deficit, without starting at that dry and tight feel. So here's a couple of recommendations for you. This is the Avene Xeracalm AD Lipid Replenishing Oil. oil cleanser. Now, this isn't the oil cleanser that removes your makeup as a first cleanser. This is actually a cleanser that is oil-based. Does that make sense? It's not like a Korean oil cleanser. So this is really nice because it has kind of a familiar gel feel on the skin, but you can definitely tell that it's been infused with a little bit of oil to bring a really gentle wrap of moisture to the skin. This really doesn't foam up at all, which is what really helps it to be very gentle and respectful on the skin, but it does still clean the skin really gently, really nicely, and when you rinse it away, you don't have an oily film on your skin, but your skin's not feeling dry and tight either. This is the Isntree Yam Root Vegan Milk Cleanser, and this is a true milk cleanser. It does have that more moisturizing, creamy texture to it. It's been infused with a lot of different plant oils that really help to nourish the skin. Again, something that does not foam up, and this one will leave a gentle layer on your skin after you've rinsed it away. It's not too filmy, but it just kind of goes into all the dry areas and sort of fills it in with this light kiss of moisture, making your skin feel really balanced and moisturized. My second strategy for using tretinoin in winter is to know the difference between dehydrated and dry skin. These words are sometimes used interchangeably, and so it can be kind of confusing to know which you're suffering from, right? So dry skin is a skin type, and the characteristic here is the skin just inherently lacks oil, and that's why your skin is always a little bit dry. It might feel kind of rough, especially if you're not moisturizing properly. It might feel rough at the surface. It might be really flaky. Now, dehydrated skin, it's not a skin type, it's actually a skin condition, and I think this is where we start to get confused, because you can absolutely have oily skin, combination skin, dry skin, and have dehydration, because dehydration, like the name suggests, it's skin that lacks water, and so that can happen with any skin type. And this is really, as I mentioned earlier, tretinoin and wintertime is the perfect storm for our skin to lose water. Not only is the harsh temperatures going to test our moisture barrier, which is what helps to hold the water into our skin, but then the dry environment inside really increases the occurrence of water escaping from our skin and dehydrating and evaporating out into the environment, right? So it's important to understand the difference. You might be suffering with both due to your tretinoin use. You might be suffering with one or the other, but take a moment to really consider what's your skin type, and then consider, are you suffering with dehydration? Because it's incredibly common to experience it during the winter months. So if you're suffering with dry skin, here's a couple of tips. Add in a facial oil if you haven't already. Oils are designed for dry skin. They can really help to replenish the oil content in skin, get your skin back in balance, but also help smooth out any rough, flaky, really dry skin that you have at the surface. It can really help to soften and smooth out your skin. But plant oils can also help to, like I said, balance out that dry condition and make your skin feel a lot more comfortable in the harsh temperatures and harsh environment, and it can sometimes make accepting tretinoin a lot easier on dry skin. So if you have dehydrated skin, you need to replenish your skin with water, right? Dehydration means lacking water. One of the best ways to add water into your skincare routine is through a hydrating toner. I don't think you need to mess around with extra serums or anything like that. A toner can really add a lot, and it's incredibly flexible to add into your skincare routine. You can layer it up if you like to achieve the amount of hydration that you want. You can use one layer, and they tend to work for all skin types. So a couple of quick recommendations. I love the Etude House Jung Relief Toner. This is a really good one if your skin is very sensitive, because there's really not a lot of plant extracts in here. It's a really minimal ingredients list. I also love the Make Prem Essence Toner. If you know that you love hydrating toners, this is great because it comes in a super big size, which I think is a great value, but it's really, really replenishing to the skin, and again, with a simple ingredients list. And whether you're suffering with dehydration, dryness, or both at the same time, it is so important to remember to take care of your skin barrier during the winter, and especially if you're using tretinoin in the winter time. Your barrier is something that is made out of all those beautiful lipids that help hold hydration in place and help to defend your skin from outside aggressors, including environmental stressors like really harsh temperatures, wind, and even that dry environment, right? It just helps to resist the dehydration and helps to keep your skin moisturized, hydrated, and balanced and happy and healthy. So there's a couple of ways to do this. My favorite strategy is, of course, ceramides. These make up 50% of the skin barrier, helps to hold all of those skin cells in place and really helps to keep your skin protected. I think ceramides work even better in combination with cholesterol and fatty acids because those are the two other main elements found in the skin barrier. So I always like to use skincare products that have these three ingredients in them whenever I'm using tretinoin, but pretty much in every skincare routine to keep my barrier strong. A few products that I like with ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acid include Stratia Lipid Gold. This is something I've been using for so many years. I swear by this product. But another one that I also really like is the Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Serum. We have ceramides and cholesterol here, but they have included a ton of fatty acids. And this might be a great place to look at if you're also suffering with dry skin because the lipid content in here is incredibly nourishing. A few other tips for keeping your barrier in a healthy state this winter. Don't take hot showers or baths or wash your face with steaming hot water. And that's what I'm talking about, steaming hot water. You want to bring that temperature down just a little bit because hot water actually, much like cleansing, strips a lot of that essential moisture from our skin, leaving it a lot more dry, a lot more exposed, and a lot more vulnerable. If you're really suffering with dehydration, consider sleeping with a humidifier in your bedroom. This adds water into the environment. Remember I talked about the heating really drying that out. So add some hydration, right, into your environment. We spend a lot of time sleeping in one room, so that's a great place to add in that hydration to help resist the loss of water from the skin. And you can also consider slugging over your moisturizer. This is particularly helpful at nighttime when that dryness and dehydration can really start to manifest. So you can slug over your moisturizer with a petrolatum-based product, CeraVe Healing Ointment, Vaseline, Aquaphor, or you can even mix a little bit into your main moisturizer to kind of like oomph up that protective barrier that it creates on the skin without adding another thick and sometimes sticky layer on top of your skin. This is also a really great tip if you spend an extended amount of time outside in the harsh temperatures. If you're, working outside, shoveling, maybe hiking, add a little bit of petrolatum-based product into your moisturizer to create that protection against the wind and against the icy temperatures. You may also consider a product like La Roche-Posay Cicaplast. This has a bit of dimethicone in it, which helps to create that protective layer on the skin that holds all that hydration in place. But because there's other skin healing and soothing ingredients in it, if you're suffering from a lot of irritation with your tretinoin, this can be a nice product to add into your routine to bring some relief to your skin. And my final tip for you is to adjust your application. This is really going to come down to knowing your skin and understanding how winter affects your skin. But I can tell you from my personal experience, not only like the way that I apply tretinoin, but just the way that I create my skincare routines, my strategy just for my overall skin changes in the winter because I understand how this season affects my personal skin. And so I feel super empowered to make changes, to switch things up, to decrease my frequency of application. It's not a failure if you can't apply tretinoin as much in the wintertime as you could in the summertime or in the fall. It's not a failure. So that's my first tip, is just to understand your skin and take it really day by day sometimes. But another strategy for you is to keep it simple, silly, or the KISS method. I have talked about this before, but really it's just about not overwhelming your skin with lots of different products and especially not lots of different actives, especially if your skin is affected by the winter weather. That may mean that tretinoin is really your only active that you're using. Maybe you're not using a lot of AHAs and BHAs and vitamin C and high percentages of niacinamide. You might just want to focus in on that one active ingredient that you use couple times a week, and keep the rest of your skincare routines really simple. Another tip that's actually universal for all tretinoin application, but I think we really need to keep our eye on this in the winter, I speak from personal experience, is to make sure that your skin is dry when you are applying your tretinoin prescription, because tretinoin, you've heard that when your skin is damp, your skincare absorbs into your skin better and you can layer your products better. That's absolutely true. But when you put tretinoin onto damp skin, it actually increases the absorption. It actually makes it absorb into your skin a lot faster. And when it slams into your skin like that, if you're sensitive or if you're suffering with lots of side effects, it's actually going to make the irritation and dryness a lot worse. Some people can do this and they're fine. So I'm going to refer back to know thy skin, right? But I can tell you personally, I've done this especially in the winter when my skin just feels a little bit more sensitive, right? Like getting out of the shower and there's just like a lot of humidity in the air, and my skin care isn't absorbing quite as like quickly. My skin's not going, right? There's some dampness on my skin. I've applied my tretinoin on that and I paid for it the next day because my skin was so much drier and so much more dehydrated because the tretinoin just really went into my skin too fast. So in order to avoid this, especially in the winter, a great tip for you is to actually just wait 30 minutes before you apply your tretinoin. You absolutely can put your moisturizer on if you're drying out and feeling like, ooh, that tightness in your skin. Put your moisturizer on, go do something else, go eat dinner, watch TV, do whatever. Before you go to bed, dot your tretinoin all over your face and then work it into your skin. Your skin is going to be dry at that point, and so you're not going to have that acceleration of the absorbency, and you're going to cut down on potential irritation. And finally, I want to let you know it's okay to decrease the amount of days a week you're applying your tretinoin. I absolutely do this all the time in the winter. When my skin is feeling really balanced and good, when temperatures are mild, I can get like up to 4 times a week with my tretinoin. I can do like an every other night situation, and my skin is absolutely fine and happy. I can get into the winter time and it's like I just cannot take that many applications in a week because my skin has changed. It is being affected by the different weather that's occurring. So I feel totally empowered to say, hey, you know what? I can't keep up with 4 times a week. I'm going to go down to 3 or maybe even 2, because that's what keeps my skin healthy and strong and comfortable. And that's really important to understand, that the frequency of which you apply tretinoin is a lot less important than the consistency in which you apply it. These are 2 different things, right? Because if you're putting it on 4 times a week and it's too much for your skin, you're going to break your skin barrier. And then you're going to have to take like 2 weeks off to try to heal it. And then you're going to go back, and then maybe it's only 3 times a week. And then the next week, maybe it's only 2. And then maybe it's only 1. And now your skin barrier is broken again. That is inconsistent. And that means you're going to get inconsistent results. Even if you have to decrease the amount of times a week that you're applying it, but you're still applying it consistently, you're still going to get results from your cream. You just want to, really respect your skin as you're doing that. And also, it can be really easy with Dermatica to just request a percentage decrease. Maybe you use 0.05% of tretinoin all year round, but all of a sudden it just feels too harsh for your skin. You can absolutely chat with your provider, whoever your provider may be, by the way. But I want to let you know that with Dermatica, you absolutely can say, hey, 0.05% is too much for my skin right now. Can we go back down a little bit just to get me through the winter months, and then, revisit this and maybe go back up, back to that percentage I was at before. That might also help you stay consistent with your cream during the winter. So don't be afraid of changes. Don't be afraid of switching up your strategy and your application, because that can actually help you be consistent, and that's what helps you get those consistent results. And quickly, I want to let you know, since we're talking about percentages, you may want to hold off on any percentage increases with your tretinoin prescription right now, especially if you're suffering from a lot of the symptoms we talked about before: dehydration, dryness, itchiness, tightness, inflammation, redness. Your skin's just not doing really well, and it's a lot of it is because of the winter. Maybe put a pause on increasing your percentage if you're working yourself up. Maybe wait until the spring or until you feel like your skin is in a better state. And so just remember that tretinoin, it's a journey. We don't have to race, and sprint to the finish line here. This is a really long journey that we just take one step at a time. It's okay to take a break, to take a pause, to stay put for a little bit. Just really be in tune with your skin. Know thyself, know thy skin, and feel empowered to make the choices based on that. Thank you so much again to Dermatica for sponsoring today's video. If you're interested in getting started with Dermatica, I do have that discount code that makes your first month $4.99 and your second month 10% off. I have all those details in the description box below, along with all the links to the products that I've talked about. So if you want to check something out, add it to your wish list, add it to your cart, everything is in the description box. I hope this was so helpful for you. As I said, it can be a real struggle in the winter time, but I really hope that these tips gave some clarity to your strategy for being successful with tretinoin in the winter time. If you have any additional tips, I would love it if you would drop it in the comments below. If the video did help, please consider hitting subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thanks for being here with me today. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.